More than 50% of athletes with patellar tendonitis end up quitting their sport because of it, and of those that don't, fewer than half manage to restore their fitness level after the injury. But then there's this mystery NBA player. He entered the league with a 5-year history of jumper's knee pain. His MRI looked even worse, and nothing he had tried up to that point had worked. Now here's the twist. Instead of sitting out, he played over 50 games a season, averaging more than 20 minutes a night, while starting a brand new treatment that scientists had only just discovered. And the results were unbelievable because his pain went to zero, and by his second season, follow-up scans showed his tendon looked completely normal. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how he pulled it off and how you can use the same principles to make breakthrough progress with your own patellar tendonitis rehab. To understand how this works, you must know 3 topics. Topic number 1 is the truth about patellar tendonitis and the secret reason why it's different than most other injuries, and how, if you don't know this, it can last up to 15 years. Topic number 2, which patellar tendonitis treatment exercises you need to do to recover, and the surprising new research insights about how much weight you should use in them. And finally, topic number 3, how our mystery athletes use those treatment secrets from topics 1 and 2 to cure his jumper's knee during the season without taking time off for rehab. And this is super exciting because up until a few years ago, experts considered it impossible, but today we know better. Let's set the stage with the truth about what patellar tendinopathy really is. You probably know that patellar tendonitis is an overuse injury of the tendon that connects your kneecap to your shin bone, and you use that tendon every time you extend the knee, and that's why patellar tendonitis hurts when you're cycling, running, squatting, taking stairs, or jumping, which is also why it's called jumper's knee. The key symptom is pain located right below the kneecap where the patellar tendon attaches to it. And a simple self-check you can do at home is to push your finger into this area with your leg straight and relaxed. If this triggers the familiar pain, your doctor will likely diagnose the injury as patellar tendonitis, but if it doesn't hurt, you may have another knee problem, and in that case, you can use this pain location video to find out what it could be. Now, with many injuries, you get it treated by a doctor, maybe do some physical therapy, and then the body will heal the problem. But it doesn't work like that with patellar tendonitis. And the reason is that as the tendon gets overloaded, your body starts making changes inside the tendon in an attempt to make it stronger. Continued overuse interrupts these adaptation attempts, and more unwanted changes happen inside the tendon, specifically with the tiny load-bearing collagen fibers. Now, in a healthy tendon, they are aligned along the axis of load, but as patellar tendonitis progresses, this alignment breaks down in the overloaded areas. Now, there's a lot more detail to it, but this explanation is enough to understand that, number 1, patellar tendonitis, unlike what the name suggests, is not inflammation. It's an activated cell response, which is why anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen don't work once tendonitis has progressed past the initial stage. And in these more advanced cases, ibuprofen will actually prevent healing. And number 2, to get rid of jumper's knee, you need to fix this collagen misalignment problem, and the only proven method to do that is with the following patellar tendonitis rehab exercises. And that's good news, and it's bad news. The bad news is that most other jumper's knee treatments don't work. The good news is that it doesn't matter how long you've had tendonitis or how far it has progressed, you can always strengthen your tendon with the right exercises. And over the years, I've worked with thousands of people who thought they were stuck, and then they still managed to turn things around. Okay, so here's an overview of how it works. The goal of these jumper's knee rehab exercises is to load the tendon in the right way to realign the collagen fibers inside the tendon. We want to strengthen the tendon through positive tendon adaptation, and to do that, we need to use the right exercises and the right resistance, which is what this interesting new piece of research is about. The treatment exercises for patellar tendonitis are wall sits, Spanish squats, and holds on the leg extension machine for the initial rehab stage, and then slow squats, slow leg presses, and other slow quad exercises for the second rehab stage. There's a consensus in research that it's okay to do these physical therapy exercises for patellar tendonitis as long as pain during and after the training stays below a 4 out of 10 on the pain scale. And this is where this exciting new study comes into play. Researchers compared the treatment outcomes of 2 groups with patellar tendonitis. One group did patellar tendonitis exercises with a high resistance. They used a weight they could only move for about 5 repetitions. The other group did patellar tendonitis exercises with medium resistance, that is a weight they could move for about 15 repetitions. Now, both groups did the same overall training volume. The result? pain improved just as much in the medium resistance group as it did in the high resistance group. And this is fantastic news because A, you don't need to use heavy weight to get better, meaning you don't need a lot of equipment and could do many of these patellar tendonitis rehab exercises at home. And B, the exact amount of resistance you use is much less important than the time under tension per session, meaning you don't need to increase the resistance every single week as long as you stay consistent with your training. And this also aligns with my personal experience with patellar tendonitis rehab as well as a number of other studies I've read. Then, in phase 3 of the rehab protocol, you build up your tendon strength to the point where it can tolerate the loads of your sport by combining plyometric training with continued tendon exercises. And here, a gradual reintroduction of explosive movements is key for patellar tendonitis prevention, and you can make this even safer by only starting plyometrics once your tendon passes certain tests. So, now we understand what patellar tendonitis is, how it happens, and how we can reverse it, leaving us with the topic almost no one talks about: how to heal faster by speeding up this adaptation process. Take a look at our flowchart and you'll see that a large number of risk factors influence load. Now, the details will be too much for this video, but these are hidden issues such as muscular imbalances, tightness, movement patterns, your training surface, and so on. The more of these hidden risk factors apply to your situation, the more your tendon will be loaded and the higher your odds of overuse will be. But there is another side of the equation, and that's how fast your body can recover and how quickly your tendon can adapt. And this goes back to the collagen fibers inside the tendon. New fibers are produced by the tendon cells in a process called collagen synthesis. And as it turns out, certain mistakes will slow collagen synthesis down, but there are also things you can do to speed it up. And this case study about an NBA athlete recovering during the season is a great example. Now, we don't know who it is, but this player was drafted in 2017 or 2018 when the draft included stars such as Jason Tatum, SGA, and Luka Doncic. However, by the time this athlete entered the NBA, he had already been dealing with patellar tendonitis for 5 years. And the routine jumper's knee MRI every draft prospect gets at the combine showed central cord tendinopathy in his patellar tendon. And in spite of having this chronic case of patellar tendonitis, playing more than 50 games a season, averaging over 20 minutes per game, plus 3 weekly team practices and a structured strength program on top, this player's pain had still dropped to 0 by the middle of his second season. And the final follow-up MRI confirmed that the tendon had normalized completely. You have to understand how fantastic these results are because many healthy players enter the NBA and then develop patellar tendonitis from the running, jumping, and basketball training. But this athlete came in with a damaged tendon and recovered. Not long ago, research consensus said it was nearly impossible to heal jumper's knee in season, that you had to stop competing to see progress. But this case study proved the opposite. With the right approach, full patellar tendonitis recovery is possible even while playing at the NBA level. And that's powerful to remember in those dark moments with patellar tendonitis pain when it feels like nothing is going your way. So how did he do it? His rehab included patellar tendonitis isometric exercises like isometric leg extensions, isometric leg press, and Spanish squats done with a high resistance for a total of 1 to 6 minutes of time under tension per leg per session. And to accelerate tendon adaptation, he also used a supplement protocol. 15 grams of gelatin mixed with orange juice to get about 225 milligrams of vitamin C. He drank that 1 hour before his training. Earlier studies had already shown this could boost collagen synthesis, and here it helped drive real tendon healing in a very challenging situation. If you don't want to use gelatin or orange juice because of how weird it tastes, you can also use hydrolyzed collagen. This has the same amino acids, but it's odorless and dissolves quickly. Mix it with vitamin C powder, stir for a bit, and let it sit for a minute. It will taste almost the same as water. Drink it 1 hour before your training. Now, the best part is that while this works, there are many other things you can do to speed up tendon healing even further. So let's put everything we learned together into a protocol that works even if you've had patellar tendonitis for years. And by the way, if you want to keep learning strategies like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel as I will publish more science-based videos on patellar tendonitis rehab in the future. Here's the complete picture. To make the tendon stronger, you use patellar tendonitis rehab exercises depending on the stage you're in. And these have to be slow quad exercises that you can do for high time under tension with at least medium resistance. But training alone is not enough if you don't also optimize your collagen synthesis and tendon adaptation. And that's where this gelatin plus vitamin C combo can give you a boost. But if you leave too many of these systemic risk factors uncorrected, you could use the perfect training routine and still see zero progress. That's one reason why so many people are stuck with tendonitis. And the other one is leaving intrinsic and extrinsic risk factors unfixed, which will almost guarantee setbacks. Now, we'll cover this in future videos on this channel. It just takes time to create them. If you want to get started learning about this right away and are okay with reading, you can sign up to my free Tendonitis Insights course at martinkoban.com/tendonitis. That's where I share everything I discovered reading over 800 research papers on tendon injuries, learning directly from some of the world's top tendinopathy clinicians, and helping thousands of people recover with a method I developed myself over 15 plus years of experimenting. For example, certain mistakes can make your body produce cartilage, bone, or fat cells inside your tendon. And this will of course make the tendon weaker and setbacks more likely, and it has nothing to do with what exercises you use or how you train. It's fascinating and scary at the same time, but easy to avoid. Like I said, more on that in the future. That's it for today. And don't forget to give this video a like if you found it useful, and I will see you next time.